The end of the world didn't start with a bang or a warning. It just happened on a regular Tuesday morning. The sun was up and I was late for work, same as any other day. Rushing through the streets, coffee in one hand and my mind on a million things, I barely noticed him at first. This guy was stumbling down the sidewalk, his clothes ripped and looked really sick. People just steered clear of him, muttering to themselves. I didn't think much of it. How could I have known? Then it got real. The guy jumped on someone, biting her arm. The sound of it, I can't even describe it. It was like something tearing, and then her screams just cut through everything. Suddenly, everyone was running and yelling. I froze. The bitten woman hit the ground shaking and then went still. But then she got up again. Her eyes were empty, and she had this look. It was like she wasn't even human anymore. I started running, my heart pounding like crazy. Behind me, I could hear all these awful noises. More people getting attacked, more of those things, whatever they were. It was chaos. Cars were crashing, windows breaking, people screaming. I saw it all. People running, falling, and then getting up again like that woman. I found an empty store and locked myself in. I was out of breath and couldn't even think straight. Everything had changed in just a few minutes. The city was falling apart out there, and I was hiding, just trying to stay alive. I couldn't just stay there, hidden in the dark, listening to the silence outside. I had to get home. Maybe my family was there, waiting, wondering where I was. I grabbed a metal pipe lying on the floor, my only weapon, and then stepped out into the night. The city was a nightmare, streetlights flickering, casting eerie shadows. The moans of those things were distant but getting closer. I moved quickly, avoiding the main streets, sticking to the alleys and the back ways. Then I heard it, a shuffling behind me. I turned and swung the pipe without thinking. It connected with a sickening thud. The creature, it once might have been a man, crumpled to the ground. I didn't stop to look, I just kept moving. Every turn, every street brought new horrors. My heart was pounding out of my chest, and every shadow seemed like it could hide another one of those things. I tried not to think about them, what they used to be. I had to focus on getting home. I reached a familiar street, but it was blocked by a crashed car, its alarm blaring. I had to take a detour through an even narrower alley. That's when I stumbled upon them, a small group of survivors, armed with whatever they could find. They looked just as scared as I felt. "We need to get out of here," one of them whispered. "They're coming." We didn't need to be told twice. We moved as a group, watching each other's back. Every so often, we'd see one of those creatures, but we'd avoid them or fight it if we had to. It wasn't just about surviving anymore. It was about fighting back however we could. We reached my neighborhood, but it was unrecognizable. Houses were on fire, cars abandoned in the middle of the road. My heart sank. I thanked the group and broke off towards my house. The front door was ajar. Inside, everything was quiet. Too quiet. I called out, but there was no answer. I walked through the living room, the kitchen, and then I heard a noise from upstairs. My heart skipped a beat. Cautiously, I climbed the stairs, pipe raised. At the top, I saw my sister barricaded in her room. She was shaking, but alive. We hugged, crying, both relieved and terrified. "We have to leave," I said. "It's not safe here." We gathered a few essentials and left the house. The night was filled with distant screams and the occasional gunshot. We didn't know where we were going. We just knew we had to keep moving.